You know, there's something about autumn that just speaks to my soul. I adore the colors, the softness in the air, that quiet shift when everything in nature starts to slow down. It feels like the whole world exhales, and suddenly there's this sense of calm that I can finally settle into. It's the season when I start retreating into my cozy little home, wrapping myself in a warm blanket with a comforting drink in my hands. The outdoor projects and chores gradually pause for a while, and with that pause, I gain a bit more time that I can devote to the things that nourish me on a deeper, quieter level. I truly love reading a good book. Not long ago, I had so much more time for it. I was even signed up at the local city library, borrowing books on a regular basis, always leaving with a new story to escape into. But life has gotten a little busier these past few years, so I read less than I used to. But even now, I cherish every moment when I sit down, open a book, and let its story feed my imagination. Autumn is also when I naturally lean into more little self-care moments, slowing my mind down, reflecting on the part of the year that's already behind me, and gently turning my attention to the plans and dreams waiting ahead. This is the period when I finally have enough time to paint a new artwork or two. It almost feels like the world, just for a moment, aligned with my own peace, slows down to meet me where I am. And I love it. I love the comfort and tranquility that surrounds everything before December swipes in with its festive buzz. And speaking of December, it really is right around the corner. I have to admit, my thoughts are already drifting into the holiday mood. But still, I want to savor these last few days of November. I want to enjoy what's left of the autumn mood, because time flies far too quickly and I don't want to push myself to rush through life. And this slow golden part of the year deserves to be enjoyed fully. When it comes to food, I love bringing pumpkin into my meals during this season. It's such an iconic ingredient for autumn and winter. Warm, sweet, comforting, and instantly makes the whole mood feel more homely. Today I'm making homemade pumpkin pasta with a creamy sauce. I start by cutting the pumpkin into small pieces, drizzling them with olive oil, and roasting them for about 20 minutes. Roasting brings out the sweetness, rich flavor, and it also makes removing the skin so much easier. While the pumpkin is roasting, I'm preparing the flour for my dough. I'm using white flour this time, simply because I want the pumpkin flavor to really stand out. If I were making regular egg flour pasta, I'd probably use whole grain, rye or spelt flour for a deeper taste. But in this case, the pumpkin is an important ingredient, and I want its flavor to really come through. Once the pumpkin is soft, I remove skin and blend it in food processor into a smooth paste and add it to the flour. I didn't use all the pumpkin puree for the dough, which is perfect because I'll pack the leftover into a glass container and freeze it, and I'll use it next time for some other delicious recipe. For the sauce, I mix sour cream, heavy cream, and 1 egg. I pour everything into the pan with the crispy prosciutto. Let it simmer a little. Then add the pasta along with a bit of water where pasta was cooking. A few years back, the little tea store in our village closed down, and honestly, I was really disappointed. I loved going there, but that moment actually inspired me to start making my own frozen blended fruit concentrate for tea. Some of the fruit I use comes from the store, but a lot of it is from mine and my mom's garden, which makes it even more special. Today I'm making two different concentrates. Since it's orange season right now, I'm taking full advantage. I squeeze fresh orange juice and the juice of one lemon. I will add a little bit of ginger and a handful of frozen mango pieces. Then I blend everything in a food processor until it becomes smooth. These days, I absolutely love making tea this way. It also helps me use up all the fruit I kept in the freezer. Once the mixture is blended, I pour it into ice cube molds and freeze it. It's practical and convenient. The best part is that you actually drink the whole fruit with your tea. And if a tiny piece of fruit stays unblended, even better. It gives texture and flavor. On cold days, I often make a hot compote, which is so comforting when I need something cozy to sip. But for everyday use, these frozen fruit cubes are perfect. They make preparing a warm, soothing drink incredibly quick and easy. Just drop a cube into hot water and it melts into a delicious, vibrant homemade tea. It's the next morning. It's 5 a.m. and I'm getting ready for work. For breakfast, I'll have a slice of bread with homemade tuna spread. It's just enough to keep me going until my mid-morning lunch break. Yesterday, I soaked some oats and I'll pour it into another, a little bit larger container. I'll add 2 teaspoons of homemade strawberry jam on top. Next comes the Greek yogurt. On top of the yogurt, I'll scatter a handful of frozen blueberries, which is perfect because they'll slowly unfreeze by the time I eat. For finish, I'll sprinkle chopped walnuts and sunflower seeds for that little bit of crunch. I often prepare something like this, or a variation of it, to take to my work. It's so delicious and balanced option that keeps me full until I come home. After finishing my morning routine, I head out to work. Even though it's hard to get up so early, I find peace in this moment. I wouldn't exactly call myself a morning person. I need a little time to fully wake up. And I really do need to wake up properly, because I have quite a long commute to work. That's why a calm morning routine means so much to me. During my lunch break, I almost always take a short walk. I like to step away from everything, go outside, and stretch my legs a little. It's a moment that helps release my mind, like a soft pause where I reconnect with myself. Even if the walk is brief, it means a lot to me. It reminds me how good it feels to move. It keeps my energy steady for the rest of the day. When the work ends and I head home, there is always a pleasant sense of release, as if I gently close one chapter of the day. I really love my job, but coming home carries its own kind of warmth. Whenever I step through the door, I feel the comfort of my own space embracing me. That feeling of returning to my own pace, my own atmosphere, where I can breathe differently. Once I put down my bag and take off my shoes, something shifts. I move from the rhythm that work requires to the rhythm I choose myself. Slower, softer, more homely. This transition means a lot to me. It gives me balance. It reminds me that I have my mornings, my evenings, and my little routines that keep me grounded. Have a lovely day and see you in my next one. Bye!